On behalf of the Center for Film and Electronic Media Studies and the University, I take this opportunity to formally welcome the dignitaries and the distinguished guests. May I welcome Honorable Madam Vice Chancellor Dr. Resul Pookutty, the Registrar, Controller of Examination, Director DDE, members of Syndicate. I would like to specially recognize and extend a hearty welcome to Dr. Resul Pookutty, a renowned sound designer, sound editor and mixer. He has worked in several films ranging from Hollywood, Hindi, Tamil and Malayalam films. He graduated from the prestigious Film and Television Institute of India, Pune. He made his debut in 1997 as sound engineer, and since then he has worked on several noted movies like Black, Gandhi My Father, Zavaria, etc. He was awarded Padma Shri by the Government of India. He was awarded honorary doctorate by Sri Shankaracharya University of Sanskrit. He has won several awards including the Academy Award, BAFTA Award, Asianet Film Award, Zee Cinema Award, etc. Also, I would like to welcome the members from the Real Image Technology Chennai and GM Audio Chennai, the engineering department in MKU, both electrical and civil, who were instrumental in creating this wonderful facility. Once again, I thank all of you for coming to the inaugural function. I hope we will have many more occasions to be together at the Center for Film and Electronic Media Studies in future. Thanking you.
I request Ms. Surya and Kavya to honor our Vice Chancellor with
State-of-the-art studio consisting 2 shooting floors with the multi-camera setups attached to a production control unit and sound recording theatres equipped with sophisticated film production technologies are going to be inaugurated by a sound designer, editor and mixer of international repute, Dr. Resul Pookutty, in the august presence of our Honorable Vice Chancellor. Now I request the chief guest of this function, Dr. Resul Pookutty, to inaugurate the studio.
Sir, please come.
I request the dignitaries to be seated. Shining at the world map and brought sound engineers to limelight in India through his Academy Award, Oscars as we call it, for the movie Slumdog Millionaire. Dr. Resul Pookutty has made a mark in Hollywood, Hindi, Tamil and Malayalam movies. His Sound and Television Institute graduates' technical brilliance has fetched him many laurels, including Padma Shri and National Film Award for the Malayalam movie Palasi Raja. Now I invite Dr. Resul Pookutty to deliver the inaugural address.
First of all, thank you so much for inviting me. Good morning to all of you, Honorable Vice Chancellor, members of the syndicate, teachers, the creative and technical genius of this institution, and above all, students, my dear friends. I take this as a honor and a privilege to be able to open something which is very unprecedented in any history of the universities of Indian institutions. And I thank, and as a student of cinema, I thank the Vice Chancellor, and I am given to believe that she has taken immense courage and step when in unorthodox way find fund for this such a path-breaking effort to create a center of excellence like this in a university. More than the Oscar award honor, I felt completely privileged when I was invited as a member of the Academy to be a permanent voting member. And there was an initiation ceremony in Los Angeles in 2010. We were invited and I went there. There were 100 people from all over the world has been initiated into the Academy as a new member. And in that evening dinner, I met a person from University of Stanford. And I was wondering, how come a university professor, a member of the Academy? You never see academic people, academicians as a part of the member of the Academy. I thought it's only film people. So I asked that gentleman, what is that you have done? He said, under my guidance, we evolved all the software that Mr. James Cameron has used for the film Avatar. So it struck me one thing, is that all across the globe, every creative head, every creative person, if they have a problem, if they come up with something that they needed to invent, they go to the nearest university. Because it is the university where academic is taken seriously, where studies are not about studying books and mugging up syllabuses. It's about finding a vision. So all across the globe, and I thought, this is what is lacking in India. If I am a creative professional, or anybody else who working in their own public, and professional outset, if we come up with a problem, we will not go to the university, and we think the universities are only for mark sheets and books and maybe a few libraries. And I thought, this is the need of India. And I see that today in Madurai Kamaraj University, with the vision of a person like Ms. Kalyani, Dr. Kalyani, and that is coming into a fruitful completion, or maybe it is first step towards that, the professionals going back to the university, and it's a great step, and it's a very sensitive step. And I always considered women in our country are the primemost thinkers and people who have the courage to take initiatives forward. And I think your Chief Minister is a perfect example of that. And you see people like Dr. Kalyani. If we have people like them in the academic front, and I'm sure every universities, the image of a university and what university actually stands for will be taken into a logical step. Thank you for that. Because as a student, I never had a university like that to go to. Other than that, okay, that's and the person who actually introduced all of us was kind enough to say a few things in Malayalam. I was very touched by that. Thank you for that once again. I come from a very small village in Kerala. And I was telling ma'am in the morning when we met, she asked me, talk about you. Where have you come from? What are you? And one fine morning, I just came up on the front of a newspaper, and suddenly people start thinking about sound. And where does this guy come from? And I keep telling my people in every academic institution that I go to, sound was knowledge to us. We are a tradition of 5,000 years old tradition. We are the only civilization in the world who thought sound was knowledge. Sound is memory. The Vedas as we know today is easily memorable sound that have been organized in a fashion which is memorized and passed on to one generation to the other as knowledge. That's what is called Vedas as we know today. So we were the only tradition in the world where sound was everything for us. That is also the reason why I spoke what I spoke at the Academy Award when I received the Academy Award. So I come from a civilization where sound was knowledge. You know, there was silence before everything, and the silence after the word Om. So I come from that. We come from that tradition. So it is very natural of us to have a very in-depth knowledge about sound. And sadly, we are the only civilization in the world today who is very ignorant about it also. So the need to create sound as a faculty, sound as a point of research. If you read our Puranas and Vedas, and you realize that sound has been used thousands of years ago in our tradition as the way how we used electricity today. You know, if you read Upanishads and Mahabharata and Ramayana and all that, there are enough references to use where we've been using sound as an energy. So there's a great need to go back to what is our tradition, what is our real knowledge, what is our strength as a civilization. That is one thing that I would like to see in the Indian universities to be coming forth. Probably as a professional who is quite known into the public eye today, as a sound man, I have to take initiatives and I have to be part of such processes, and I am willing to wholeheartedly, from my personal and professional level, to be part of any such activities that any university in India is willing to take forward. Coming back to where I began, like ma'am asked me where I come from and what I am and what is how all this has happened. So I was saying her I come from a very small village in Kerala. The nearest school was about 6 kilometers away. I had to walk to the school, and there was no electricity in my village. It came in when I was studying for +2 at the age of 17 or something. I'm not saying all this to glorify anything. I think still 80% of India is still in the darkness. I think even the remotest villages of India, students have to walk to the school. And why I am referring to this is, if you ask me what is the reason for my success, or so we call it success, there are two things, which I think is also the problem of our higher education. So I studied in a very small, government LPS and UPS in my mother tongue, in Malayalam medium. And I wanted to be a physicist. I fell in love with physics in my graduation, and I wanted to be a physicist. And we have a problem in the way our education system is structured. There were 250 students who was coming out of physics graduation, and there was only 10 seats for MSc, master's program. So I didn't get into my master's program. So I thought, let me not waste my time. And I joined for law. And I wanted to be a physicist, and I wanted to become the person who invent superconductive element and win a Nobel Prize for India. That was my ultimate wish. Instead, I got an Oscar. So when I was in law, a friend of classmate of mine said there is an institute called Film and Television Institute of India. They teach something called sound engineering, and the basic qualification is BSc Physics. So I thought I will study physics. It's an extension of my physics studies. That's why I landed up in Film and Television Institute of India. And I didn't get admission on the first time. It's a big process, all India entrance and all that. Good. Now looking back at it, good I didn't get admission the first time. Every failure teaches you a lesson. So I came back to Trivandrum, continued my law, and I prepared for 1 year and appeared again. And I won the first rank. Just because I won first rank, I could study. because Government of India used to give us 500 rupees as a scholarship, INB ministry, and state government, every state government gives some money to the people who are studying at the film institute. So my state gave me 300 rupees. So with 800 rupees I studied, and I told my parents I don't want money because I was going against my wishes of my parent to study. So I came to Film and Television Institute of India as a village boy from Kerala. I never met a person, a Bengali, an Oriya, a person from Delhi, a person from Bombay. Frankly speaking, I never met my brothers and sisters of this country. First day at the film school, they took us to a place, a market, and they said, go sit here and watch this place. And if you have to make a documentary about this place, what would you write? You have to come back and write a script. Sitting there, they didn't know Malayalam, they didn't know English, they spoke Marathi, the local language. Neither did I know Marathi, nor did I know Hindi, nor my English was good enough. Sitting there, I was dumbstruck. And I thought, everything that I have studied in the 22 years of my life is a waste. Because I can't communicate with my brothers and sisters of this country. What is that I have learned from this education so far is nothing. We have only got mark sheets. Everything that we learn today, I always remember Vivekananda Swamiji's words. If you are an educated person, and if your education doesn't come into the good of others, your education has no value. Mark it, my friends. Your education has no value. Sitting in that market, I thought, there's only one way. If our country has to achieve equality, there's only one way. We can boast of economical equality, they can boast of political equality. Nothing can work. There's only one thing that can bring us together is language. If the haves and the have-nots speaking the same language, what I mean, in the truest sense of the word, if we are able to express our emotions in the truest and the purest sense of the word, then a communication is complete. A society that cannot communicate among each other, between each other, that society does not be a vibrant society. That society does not grow. I think our focus, our universities, our education systems focus towards teaching language as a faculty is so far behind. It is a shame on us. We do not know how to speak to each other. We do not know, as a collective conscience of this country, we do not know how to embrace ourselves with emotion to one another. This is probably one of the biggest problem of our higher education and the dynamics of this country. So standing there in that market, I thought, I need to learn language. I have to keep aside my science. I have to learn language. If you ask me, as a student of, I'm sure every student in this country is going through this in their higher education scenario. Everyone, be a Tamilian from a far out village, be a Malayali, be an Anthrite, be everyone will eventually go through this. 3 years it took me, 1 year it took me to overcome my fear of language. You know, every time in your life, I said I studied in a government school, and in that school there were no walls in that school. The walls did not demarcate standard 1 to 2 and 3 to 4. Students were sitting in a bench, one against each other. One student's back was touching the other student's back. That demarcated classes. That's the school I studied from, I came from. And one day in that school, I read a book, a Malayalam book loud. That is the fear of language went away from me. And one such day, on a Friday, when you have a creative classes, you stood up and sang. That day, the fear of art went away from me. My dear students, every day, every occasions like that, it will come in your life where you have to beat your fear. From 7 in the morning to 11 at night, I kept a timetable for myself for 1 year to overcome my fear of language and to understand. If you ask me, that was my first struggle. My first struggle was to overcome what a structured or a non-structured educational system has put in me as a person. 3 years of higher studies and I came out into an industry. And when I came out with so much philosophies and so much thought process. And I thought with my intellect and intelligence, I would change the society. That's what you think is your responsibility as an educated person, that you have to contribute to the society. I came out in an industry and the industry said, we don't need you. Mind it, each one of you, the day you walk out of this main gate, there is a world waiting for you. And in that world, you can live happily where your education is not required. The society every time and again will tell you that you are not required. It is your responsibility as a person of certain intellect, as a person who has studied, as a person who embraced knowledge. It is your responsibility to create that need for yourself in the society. 10 years of my work in the industry was to create that need for myself. That was my second struggle. Where I am standing today is because an industry told me that I am not required, but I needed that industry to be with me. Every time you are rejected, you say that they didn't need me, but I need them and I need to make the need for myself. That should be the intellect that you should work with. That can only happen if you look at educational institutions are places where your intelligence are nurtured and where you want to be excelled. Probably the biggest problem of higher education in the country is that it time and again will tell you you are only as good as you want to be. Probably that's the reason why we have only one A.R. Rahman and one Sachin Tendulkar. We do not nurture excellence. We do not let people grow on their own. We always want to compartmentalize them, put it in a structure. That is what you need to look at it. In the middle of the night, you look at yourself, you wake up and look at the mirror and look at yourself, say that you are going to beat yourself. That should be the seriousness that you must work towards. Places like this, if this comes up as a center of excellence, imagine when you move into studying art and language as faculties, there's nobody there to teach you. Every teacher comes with his own perspective, his own knowledge of the society, his own knowledge of the culture, his own being around him. He can only be a catalyst. An education institution becomes a part of your life when it becomes a catalyst. As an institution and people who, the torchbearers of education, we can only create circumstances. It is how you take it on your shoulder, how you take the torch and show light around you is going to define you. Today, on this day where I've been given the responsibility to open a studio and a shooting floor, wherein tomorrow you would stand behind a camera, wear a headphone and sit behind a mixing desk, and you are going to create. What are you going to create? You are going to create a part of you. Unless and until you live yourself and leave a part of yourself in the thing that you're creating, it will not come to a person sitting on the other side of the screen. And if you want to leave that a little bit of yourself on that screen, first and foremost, you have to identify yourself. Let that be the motto of this institution. Let that be the beginning step from today onwards. On that note, I congratulate everyone who has relentlessly put in their energy to create something extraordinary like this, something path-breaking like this. And may you, the torchbearers of tomorrow, take a step ahead and carry it forward. And I say, this whole event of shooting floors and recording and mixing theatre be inaugurated. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
ஆட்சிமன்ற குழு உறுப்பினர் பேராசிரியர் பெரியகருப்பன் அவர்களை அழைக்கின்றேன்.
Esteemed and Honorable Vice Chancellor Colonel Dr. Kalyani Madhivanan, the first woman Vice Chancellor of the most reputed Madurai Kamaraj University. Honorable Oscar Award winner Dr. Resul Pookutty, respected Professor Dr. Pichumani, Member Syndicate, Madurai Kamaraj University, respected Dr. Rajsekhar, Registrar, Madurai Kamaraj University, dear Dr. Karnam Maharajan, Head Center for Film and Electronic Media, dear Dr. B. Ilamparidi, Dr. Vijayan, Control of Examination, Dr. Balan, Director of Business Education, faculties from other departments, research scholars, students and friends from press. At the outset, I am sincerely thankful even 1,000 times to our respected and most honorable Vice Chancellor of our university. I would like to offer my sincere words of appreciation to our Vice Chancellor for making such a new model and innovative change in the university campus by opening the Center for Film and Electronic Media Studies as a separate center. For your information, it is the first model center for electronic media studies opened exclusively for the students in the whole of Tamil Nadu. For that, all of us must join hands in thanking our Vice Chancellor and appreciating her wonderful efforts taken for this. Another important thing, we must know all infrastructure facilities are richly generated by our madam. Definitely, students during this year and also students in future years will carry rich memories of their studies in the university and also our madam's achievements. During the tenure period of our Vice Chancellor, he has made very excellent changes in the whole campus, like Green Campus program, modern kitchen facilities in all hostels, modernization of university hospital, and overall development in terms of the welfare of the student and the staff members. Our Vice Chancellor's ability is signing by the awards of Best Vice Chancellor Award and Best Women Achiever Award, also Best Award with a honorary rank of Colonel. Excellent and advanced development regarding shooting floor and recording theatres initiated by our madam will be very much useful to the student community, not only now but also in future. Let me appreciate Dr. Karna Maharaja for taking all steps with the fullest support and cooperation of our Vice Chancellor to make the Center for Film and Electronic Media Studies as a model center. I wish the center to grow at a very great level. Finally, I am very happy to express my thanks to our Vice Chancellor for having given me an opportunity to deliver the felicitation address. Thank you, one and all. Thank you.
Resul Pookutty, dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, and dear students. I am very happy to offer a few words of felicitation on this excellent occasion. When our Vice Chancellor first took over in April 2012, she has two real imaginative visions. One is Green Campus. I always like to say a few words on Green Campus on every occasion, because this is an imaginative dream project. In fact, our central administrative building is fully powered by solar power. And I wish to recall one instance at that time. The then director of DDE, he came with a proposal that there was some funding earmarked for vehicle for Vice Chancellor. Our madam, she turned it down, and she bought one Bookline JCP and a tractor. And that really made the campus, what to say, it was extensively utilized. And during NAC visit, the role of the JCP and the tractor and our engineering department, this was really extensive. And everyone who visited our campus, they were very highly appreciative of the Green Campus initiatives of our Vice Chancellor. And a second major innovative, imaginative, far-reaching, as Dr. Resul Pookutty pointed out, attempt to bridge the gap between the society and the higher education, and also our step to move ahead to what really the society and the student community are in need of, is her two real visionary projects, Center for Film and Electronic Media Studies and Center for Tourism and Hotel Management. And for both, she made very extensive, elaborate contributions. In fact, we can say that these two projects are her other two children. She take extensive care in fetching everything. In fact, one of the vehicles for the Center for Film and Electronic Media Studies, that was also bought from DD funding. So every minute detail she took care of. This this floor and other shooting floor, building facilities. The facilities are very extensively, very meticulously and carefully built up, and it is now left to the department to take the initiative and to carry this forward to the next level. And there are a lot of things to achieve, as Dr. Resul Pookutty pointed out. Sky is the limit for students of this course. So there are a lot of things you can really achieve in terms of this. And the main aim of this Center for Film is offers a lot of scopes. And as far as students of this course are concerned, this is offering a lot of scope. This is one of the most innovative, creative, artistic, socially connected program. In fact, this program has a lot of convergence of technologies, art and science. It is not restricted to one particular branch of science. So any student of this course, he can really innovate, improvise. He can create very extensive program. And this is also a course which can offer you a lot of recognition, awards and acclaims once you come out with very great contribution. And it is also appropriate that this center is hosted in Madurai Kamaraj University, which is in Madurai, one of the ancient seat of learning. Tamil, Madurai is known for its Tamil Changam. We have Tamil Changams, and also which improvise Muttamil, Isai Nadagam,
Good morning to all of you. Honorable Vice Chancellor, the Chief Guest of this pleasant morning, Dr. Resul Pookutty, dear syndicate members, dear Karnamagarajan, chairpersons, faculty members, and my dear students. When Dr. Resul Pookutty was giving her inaugural address, I was just wondering, a musician can also be so musical in his speech. The way in which he started by saying about his own interest when he was in a village and he entered, and the type of fear that he had overcome over a period of time, the way in which he was presenting the whole thing in a kind of an order speaks about the notes that he prepared, the sense of the music in his mind and heart. Most often, I feel that whenever I think of a music, the origin of the music is only from the meditators. In fact, our chief guest also was pointing out the origin is from the Vedas and Upanishads. It's not a surprise to see that all those seers, which our chief guest was pointing out, were expressing the kind of godliness which they had only through the poetic verses. Devaram, Tiruvasalam, you can call almost in any language, any type of literature which talks about the God, only in the meaning of poetic verses. And it is nothing new because the poetic verses is the nearby to the godliness experiences, and when those verses were given the expression in the form of a sound or a music, that becomes mostly the divine. We believe that as man we are in the bridge, and one side we find the animal, the other side we also see the divine being, and man is always in the bridge. In the sense that we can fall back to the level of an animal, that too is his choice, or he can also rise to the level of a divine being, that too is his choice. Man is the one who has the choice, and that's the problem also. So whenever the choice is given, he always falls back. By taking some intoxicants, he can also become an animal, or he can also go to the level of a divine being by practicing meditations also. Both the choices are given to them, and it's up to the human being to take up. Similarly, music also is in between the mind and the meditation. I find that whenever we are in a mind, we are always with full of thoughts. We are almost like a Zen master says that we are almost a cup of tea with full overflowing tea. And the moment that mind is become empty, when you become thoughtless, suddenly what comes into the being is a kind of a musical note into your being itself. And that was the music that was created, discovered by the seers. It is not a surprise that the music was discovered by the seers, not by a physicist or not by a biologist or by even a chemistry man. It was not by scientists also. Music was discovered by the seers, the Upanishad seers. The reason is that whenever you want to experience, whenever you want to express to the world the type of silence which you experienced, when you go deeper into the meditations, you want to come back and you want to convey the type of silence that you experienced. The vehicle is called music. And that is how the music was discovered, and that is what we are right now. That music even now is pulsates in all our beings. The only thing is we have to wake up. And when I just was listening to our chief guest today, that is what the feeling that I had. I was wondering what I should speak in a platform like this, an elite platform, where almost everybody is interested in a kind of feeling that music is most important. Why should I talk? Then he only gave me the clue that a musician can also be a total being expressed in the form of music and the speech. You will wonder that speech also is a big musical. I was just listening to with a spellbound mind in my being. And that is the beauty of a music and the musicians. And I was fully happy that a musician has come all the way from his place to open up the shooting floors and recording theatres in our university. And you know that the mother of this university is our Vice Chancellor. I think everybody will agree with me that the mother of this center also is our Vice Chancellor. See, I often feel whenever somebody is successful, in fact I had a small discussion in our Vice Chancellor room with our chief guest also, and he was pointing out the success of our superstar Rajinikanth. And I was about to say one thing, all successful personalities had one thing very common. Probably if I am right, I would like to point out the thing that when you are total in what you are doing, that's what wherever I go I speak. When you are total, that means totally in the present. Your mind should not be wavering neither to the past nor to the future. It must be there where you are supposed to be. And once you are going to be successful. And we were talking about the charismatic leaders like Rajinikanth or our M.G. Ramachandran. You will notice in the films, those personalities were totally in the present on the screen. When they are given the role, it was just 100%, not deviating even everywhere. That too is happening in film industry. And when our chief guest was talking, he was total. He was just remembering, he was talking as if that he is talking to his own friend. That kind of a climate is essential for any successful personality in future also. And one word about this Film Technology Institute also. Remember one thing, in film technology or in film studies, again the most important thing is that unless your interest as students should be not of going into the, tuning the mind of a person or the head of a person. If you attempt on the head of the person, you become an intellectual and it is not going to be a successful formula. The success formula for film industry is that you should touch the heart of the audience. That means the feelings part. Most often we feel that unless you touch that heart of an individual or an audience, I don't think that anybody could become successful in any industry, that too in a film industry very particular. The reason is that we are for the heart. Film industry people are the film people, the technicians or musicians or the directors or whatever the name you call it, the designations. They all are meant for only one thing, that is called touching the hearts of the audience, the population. And for that also you should be fully prepared, the students. And with all the infrastructure created by our ma'am, is nothing but one more thing. When I was about to join here, I had a small feeling before I joined as a registrar. Probably this is an occasion for me to express my own feeling about that. I had a chance of meeting Director Simbu Devan. He was my student. When I was in Tyagarajar College, he was studying there. We used to have some interactions. I simply said, see, right from the beginning, I don't know Simbu. Somehow I wanted to come to the film industry, but I'm not getting the chance. Somehow I got up in this field. Then he said, sir, you do one thing. You come to me, I take you to one of my film world, and you be with me for at least 2 or 3 months. Then you realize that once you feel that you are okay, then we can do something. And remember one thing, when I was about to get into that line, I got a chance of coming to the university as a registrar. And the moment I came here, I have seen that there is a film institute, center of film industry is there, film technology is there. Then I thought, why not we again think of this? So why not using this as an center? Again, I thought I can make a request to Simbu and do something best. So occasions like this always make people, and we feel that mostly the interest that we create in the minds of the population or the audience is most important, and that too with the help of the music is divine. And I consider the music as the divine instrument which makes the mind to the meditation. And as the meditator, I also appreciate fully the efforts taken by Vice Chancellor and also our Dr. Resul Pookutty has come only to bless the ones who are interested in taking into the world of film industry. So with these few words, I am thankful about the chance given to me. Thank you, sir.
முதுகலை பட்டம் வழங்கும் பல்கலைக்கழகங்களில் நம் மதுரை காமராஜர் பல்கலைக்கழகம் இந்திய அளவில் 4வது பல்கலைக்கழகமாக திகழ்கிறது. நம் துறையில் 2 ஒளிப்பதிவு தளங்களும் 1 ஒளிப்பதிவு தளமும் 5.1 ஒளித்தளத்தையும் திறந்து வைத்த பத்மஸ்ரீ டாக்டர் ரசூல் புக்குட்டி அவர்களுக்கு என் துறை சார்பில் என் மனமார்ந்த நன்றியை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறேன். எம் துறை ஆய்வகங்கள் அனைத்தும் முற்றிலும் நவீனமயமாக்கப்பட்டவை. இவ்வளவு நவீன வசதிகளும் கூடிய எம் துறையை தோற்றுவித்த மாண்புமிகு துணை வேந்தர் திருமதி டாக்டர் கல்யாணி மதிவாணன் அவர்களுக்கு எம் துறை மாணவர்கள் சார்பில் நன்றியை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறேன். இம்மேடையில் என்னை பேச வாய்ப்பளித்த அனைவருக்கும் நன்றி கூறி விடைபெறுகிறேன். நன்றி, வணக்கம்.
Selvi Kavya. Selvi Surya.
A very good morning to one and all present here. We are very fortunate to have Padma Shri Resul Pookutty here on this occasion with us. I am here on behalf of my friends studying at the Center for Film and Electronic Media Studies as a part of this 3rd year of this course, and I'm proud to say that I am the first batch of this center. Through these 3 years, I have seen the center grow from its stages when it was a baby till the state it is in today. The center helps us to work on par with the digital era in filmmaking. It has numerous facilities and equipments to go about with filmmaking process at ease. Starting from typing a script, and the center had made it sure that it assists the students till the very last step of post-production, helping at each and every step. Being the one of its kind MTech integrated course in India, it helps us study every aspect of how to make a film and later on specialize in particular field. Madurai being a prominent center for Tamil film industry, there was not enough facilities for the students of Madurai or the areas about to learn this in their hometown. That is until our Honorable Vice Chancellor decided to start this course under the Chief Minister's Vision 2020.
I request our Honorable Vice Chancellor to deliver the presidential address.
அனைவருக்கும் என் அன்பு வணக்கம். A very good morning to everybody present here. It is indeed a red letter day today. What started 2.5 years back has seen its culmination today. And I must say, I'm extremely thankful to everybody here in Madurai Kamaraj University, be it the faculty, be it the non-teaching, be it the syndicate members, be it the controller, be it the dean, be it the directors, be it the student community, be it every which one present here, has made this a reality. This Film and Electronic Media Studies Center is a result of thinking out of the box. When I assumed charge as Vice Chancellor way back in 2012 April, I was just wondering what could I do that would be something different, because those were the lines that my father, the late Colonel Dr. M.D.K. Kuthalingam, always used to tell me. We should think out of the box and be original thinkers and creative innovators. And when I look around and I see what has happened in the past 2.5 years, let me record my immense satisfaction at having been able to realize many things that have been maybe unheard of in this university. We were born to make and manifest the glory that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it is in every one of us. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Unquote Marianne Williamson. The vision for Tamil Nadu 2023 is to become India's most prosperous and progressive state, and towards this, we as a prestigious academic body channelize our efforts to realize the vision of our esteemed Chief Minister, Honorable Madam Dr. J. Jayalalitha Avargal, to emerge as centers of innovation, excellence and development. The Madurai Kamaraj University is marching towards its Golden Jubilee celebrations with 49 years of service to higher education and society through human resource development, research, innovation and extension activities. Genuine excellent education is not restricted to bringing students to preconceived standards of performance or to norms. It is rather each student to develop standards for himself, to give him a clear perspective of all that he might become and the necessary opportunity to realize his personal vision. Students are creative, intelligent and inventive. Let us think of education as a means of developing the great abilities of the students, because in each one of the students there is a private hope and a dream. For the first time in Madurai Kamaraj University, an interdisciplinary course of study in arts has been envisaged. The commissioning of this course is a landmark achievement in the annals of this university. This is a boutique conservatory with world-class facility and infrastructure, and will nurture aspirations while enriching careers. The nature of film and media studies is different from that of a normal university education. In fact, it is a great venture to merge the film production with university teaching, as the creative mind needs proper channelizing, training, proper understanding of the society and the technology in which they are going to be trained to understand the media and its impact on society. Through this effort, the demand in corporate and competitive world for qualified, well-trained and talented creative minds would be justified. Shouldering the responsibility of a communication revolution, the university has introduced the Film and Electronic Media Studies course to keep pace with the ongoing social transformation and the country's progress towards the next generation. While envisaging the potential of the powerful media and the positive and effective role it has to play, the emphasis is placed on creating brilliant and resourceful directors, cinematographers, creative editors, best critics and researchers, screenplay writers, best actors, media managers, and the like. These are some of our objectives in starting this course. To develop suitable patterns of teaching in all branches of film and television media, so as to establish high standards of film and television education in India, and to constantly attempt at raising the technical standards of Indian film and television programs so as to make them more satisfying and acceptable. To make available regular inflow of fresh ideas and new techniques. To produce trained manpower both for the growing need of film industry, television industry and other electronic media in India. To provide facilities for and to undertake research in various branches of film, television and other electronic media. To fill the gap of demand and supply in the field of mass media in this country. To create a pool of skilled manpower to generate knowledge resources in traditional and folk media. To train personnel not only in making of films but also in film management. To generate employment opportunities for the students and involve them constructively in societal education. This course would have the multidisciplinary approach like arts, science, technology and management with a professional touch. This course will provide contacts and opportunities for employment in film and television industry and other corporate houses, as the course comprises 40% of theory and 60% of practical aspects of filmmaking process. With its plan to develop contact with different film houses, archives, national and international film personalities, it is expected to create a great impact on the course and its takers. The framework includes cinematography, direction, editing, production, management, script writing, film appreciation, critical writing, music for film, and sound recording and design. At this juncture, we are delighted to have with us Resul Pookutty, the renowned Oscar Award winner, to showcase the world-class infrastructure that this Madurai Kamaraj University has striven hard to achieve. And I think it is very important for each one of us to realize that taking this course forward and seeing it happen today with such an illustrious personality is something that has to remain in our minds and memories in the days to come. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light and not our darkness that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented and fabulous? I would ask you, actually, who are you not to be so? So with that positive trend, I wish each one here all the very best, and I appreciate the fact that there has been immense cooperation from all quarters to see that this Center for Film and Electronic Media Studies has seen the light of day by the total involvement that I have seen from every faction in this university to see that it is a success. What is a success? Again, is in the hands of the student community. This is mainly and only, I would say, for students to realize their dreams, their passions, and tell the world that this Madurai Kamaraj University is very different from other universities. Thank you.
Good morning, one and all present here. As we come to the close of the inaugural session, it is my pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks to all who supported in making this event a grand success. We offer thanks first to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Madam, Colonel Dr. Kalyani Madhivanan. We chose to honor her first and foremost because she really is the inspiration behind every good idea and the giver of the boldness required to anyone who seeks to live out their dreams. Our Honorable Vice Chancellor's motivational leadership quality is unique and beyond compare. She instills confidence in her subordinates and mentors and coaches them to reach excellence, which is also the motto of an institution like MKU. She has a natural flair for nurturing and cultivating innovation and out-of-the-box thinking. This center and the infrastructure we have developed now is the outcome of her sincere and continuous efforts. You have guided us in the right direction and we appreciate that. Therefore, ma'am, on behalf of the Center for Film and Electronic Media Studies, I extend to you our warm regards and heartfelt thanks. On behalf of the center, we extend a very heartfelt thanks to Padmashri Dr. Resul Pookutty, Oscar award-winning sound designer, for gracing the function in spite of his extremely busy schedule. You have really made this morning a memorable one, sir. Thank you so much. We owe a special gratitude to the registrar, Dr. Rajshekhar, for his immense support, valuable contribution and encouragement which has given a new drive to our work. Thank you, sir. We thank all the syndicate members for their invaluable support. This day would not be possible without their unwavering commitment, prudent counsel and direction. We thank the Controller of Examinations, Dr. P. Vijayan, for his unconditional support. We acknowledge and appreciate the immense contributions of the former registrars of this university, Dr. R. Kannan, Dr. K. Pichumani, Dr. S. V. Hariharan, and Dr. A. Muthumanikam, and we are grateful for their tireless support in establishing this center. I thank Dr. Balan, Director DDE, Special Officers, the PRO and his team for their cooperation and support. We thank the Finance Officer and all the other administrative staff of this university for their priceless support and cooperation. Teamwork divides the task and multiplies the success. This has been once again proved here. Without the cooperation and contribution of all the chairpersons of the schools, heads of the departments, directors of the centers, faculty of MKU, this event would not have become a grand success. I thank them all for their efforts. A special mention to the Center for Tourism and Hotel Management for their fullest cooperation. I extend my sincere gratitude to the head of the center, Dr. K. Kanna Maharajan, for his minute-to-minute guidance and support. Thank you, sir. An event of this dimension cannot happen overnight. The wheels started rolling months in advance. It requires meticulous planning and execution and an eye for details. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by a team of technical persons who know their job and they are result-oriented. I thank them all. I thank the administrative and non-teaching staff of our center for their support and cooperation. We also must thank the first parents who believed enough in the center's vision and to enroll their sons and daughters. And to those sons and daughters who are now the students of the Center for the Film and Electronic Media Studies, thank you for keeping your heads up and making the most of your film's experience. I would like to thank the members of the engineering department, both civil and electrical, for their contribution towards designing these immense buildings. We gratefully appreciate your hard work in making our dream come true by designing such beautiful buildings. We thank all the men and women who labored so hard to erect these buildings. Our best wishes to each and every one of them, to all the engineers, supervisors, electricians, plumbers and others. I thank the professionals from Real Image Media Technologies Private Limited and GM Audio Techniques for constructing these state-of-the-art laboratories. I thank Mr. Perumal Swami Srinivasan, a renowned filmmaker of Achamundu fame, for his valuable presence in this function and for rendering his support to make this event a grand success. Thank you, sir. We are indeed grateful to the media for their presence today in our midst and for their encouragement and support to MKU at all times. Finally, the wonderful audience who have turned up in such overwhelming numbers, we thank you very much for your patience and cooperation. Have a delightful day. Thank you.